Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Nuggets News. Today we welcome back a special guest. Ross from EOSphere is over in the US at the Tulip. Is it Ross? The Tulip. What was it? A get together, or what's the official title of this event?
So there was a blockchain event here in San Francisco. Oh, and thanks for having me on your show again, by the way. A blockchain event here in San Francisco that wasn't particularly EOS, but ended up being pretty much as such.
Yeah.
The last 2 days, it was a general blockchain event. We met a whole lot of other dApps and industry leaders speaking, such as Brock Pierce and his wife, Crystal Rose. And today was the EOS.io Summit, where all the block producers from around the world all got in and presented to each other on their projects and some of the challenges we're having and some of the exciting things that we're doing in the community. I always love coming to these events because it's like this global happy family all working together. It's awesome.
Yeah, and the B1 June event obviously got a lot of hype on social media. So we're going to break down everything that happened there as well. Or do you maybe want to start off with your opinion of how that all played out?
Well, it was the first time that I've ever been to an event of that kind of magnitude. Very Apple-esque, if you know what I mean. Like, it's very Steve Jobs standing up there, except it's Brendan Bloomer and Darren Larimer.
Yeah.
We flew out to DC for this event. It was in this big like basketball court area called the DC Armory. It was very upmarket. They had all sorts of signage and digital signage and adverts, and it was very, very awesome.
Yeah.
And you know, there were quite a few announcements, and I wanted to share those with you today. I think I took down 5 specific things that I believe and my colleagues and peers believe were the most important to get out of it. So maybe we can just knock through them.
Yeah, I did mention a couple of them very briefly in the Sunday Night Weekly wrap-up, but I think the Coinbase custody side of things was very cool. So, guys, you can get $10 on Coinbase Earn to do that little educational module, but the Coinbase custody thing is really interesting, I think.
Absolutely, and it's the financial guys that are in the ecosystem that are raving about it. You know, most of us are like developers and technical chaps, but the finance guys are saying the fact that Coinbase has accepted EOS into its custody program is a massive tick. It allows institutional large investment into actual EOS and custody. Obviously, they have a mechanism to hold your tokens and provide you like a SEC authorized cold storage of your tokens. So the guys that have got some real money to put into it don't have to be too concerned about being hacked, etc.
Yeah, and staking is going to be, I just think it's going to be so attractive going forward. And if you take a step back and see, you know, interest rates are getting lower and everyone's searching for anywhere you can get a return, all of a sudden, if some of these big blockchains are offering pretty decent returns, there's going to be a lot of money parked in these staking coins, I think.
Absolutely, and that was amazing. A cold wallet that you were able to actually stake from, provided by a large exchange. Awesome.
Yeah. What was up next, Ross?
So those are the 2 things that, for Coinbase. It was the learning mechanism through Earn, and it was the custody. The next one was an upgrade to the WebAssembly compiler for actually running smart contracts on the blockchain. At the moment, it's very web-centric. It's designed to execute web requests, not specifically smart contracts. So it started off using binary yen, then they moved to a protocol called Wabbit, yeah, W-A-B-T, and now they've created one called EOS VM, which is 12 times faster than where we started, meaning that WebAssembly action, that smart contract being executed is going to be 12 times faster than it is now, meaning more transactions per second. We're already doing about 5,000 to 9,000 transactions a second. So this is going to take it right up. And great for all the technical guys.
And is there a way to explain that in a less technical manner to a beginner about this sort of compiles everything into one format? Is that right?
Yeah. So the smart contracts are written in C++, and C++ is obviously humanly readable.
Yeah.
But in order to execute any kind of computer language effectively, you need to put it into WebAssembly, which is more on the hardware layer.
Yeah.
So you have to actually convert that human readable into machine language, and you use WebAssembly for that.
Yeah.
And the difference between what we're doing then And what we're doing now is that it's optimized specifically for smart contracts, making it really fast and efficient.
Fantastic. Cool.
The next thing was the EOS IO version 2 is going to be supporting WebAuthn. Now, I didn't know too much about it, but WebAuthn is actually the industry standard for any web authentication. And they ended up giving us a whole lot of these. These are called YubiKeys, and it's essentially a two-factor authentication device. Yeah. This you can plug into the USB. It's got a button on it, and it's also near-field communication, so I can tap it on my phone.
Yeah.
So you know about it.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. They've been floating around for a little while, but they've gained popularity in the crypto sphere. But I think that's a step that we're seeing a lot of people take with sort of Samsung integration and having your private key stored in their key store. So it's a few more layers of security, but it's getting away from the person having to be responsible for their private key. Now, we haven't solved all these issues yet, but with web authentication and retina scanning, fingerprint scanning on your phone, we're kind of getting there. So it's really easy to use, I think, aren't we?
I believe that Google and Facebook and Microsoft, all the employees, as you arrive there, this is what you get issued, and this is how you authenticate yourself on all the obviously security sensitive authentications.
Yeah, and that's really important, I think, when we get to talk about the next announcement as well.
Yeah, so the final one, the huge one that was actually leaked by Bloomberg like 12 hours before the event, is Voice. So Voice is Block One's built on EOS.io, a social media platform.
Yeah.
And it's going to do something similar to what we've seen on some other platforms like Steemit, where you incentivize to create content and to curate other people's content by liking it, and you will then earn some kind of incentive, like a token, an internal token that is meant to be freely traded. But the real facet of it is that it's going to provide an identity. That account name is going to be almost the word they're using, or they're saying KYC, right? But I'm pretty sure it's not going to be traditional kind of KYC. And because the platform actually isn't live in full production yet, it's in beta testing. We don't know all the details, but the idea is that identity that you interact with all the applications on the network is going to be bound to you, and no one is going to be able to take that from you, which is a real silver bullet if it works out. And we all seem pretty positive about it.
Yeah, and that's comparing to all the bots on Twitter, for example. If we can give every account a real ID and use those fingerprint and retina scanners I was talking about, it makes a lot more legitimate. And then that token, I guess, accrues value depending on how valuable people perceive being able to push your content to the top of the viewers' eyeballs, and that sort of thing.
So the whole platform is built with gamification inside of it, which is a good thing, right? You want people to be engaged and liking, and it's called voicing. It's almost like you boost a post. If you boost a post and that post then gets a lot of likes, you'll get some kind of incentive reward for doing it. And it just keeps that engagement and gets people on the blockchain, gets people using the blockchain without even knowing they're on the blockchain, because hell, they're just, this is just like your Twitter or Facebook or whatever it might be.
And there's been some good attempts out there and some decentralized attempts, but they're still fairly clunky, and the gamification didn't really work where early adopters got a lot more of the clout and power. So I'm interested to see if they can sort of find a way around that.
So there's no airdrop for this token. It's going to be completely created by you making content and having people like it. That's the way that the tokens get generated, which is awesome.
Awesome. And I think that, the price ran up a lot into it, and it's always sort of one of those things where I thought, this could be a sell the news event unless they really blow everyone away, because everyone gets too excited beforehand. But I think prices pulled back probably a fair bit now. I think the announcements were actually fairly good. So without talking too much about trading, it's interesting to watch this unfold, and I don't think people maybe realize how the significance of some of these announcements.
I think that Coinbase announcement and the investing guys, the financial guys, keep telling me that it's just going to take some time for this to sink into the normal crypto guys like us.
Yeah.
When the institutional investment comes in with the big money, over the next 6 months, we'll actually see the effect of that.
Yeah, fantastic. Anything else interesting on your travels, Ross, that you've picked up?
Yeah, it's the first trip for us for the States. Typically we around Asia and Korea, China type stuff. It's been a fantastic trip. We've enjoyed our stay in DC and here in San Francisco, and it's always lovely to just be part of the global EOS IO community. Seeing all the guys to this. I mean, these guys are like family. We work with each other every single day, but not often that we see each other face to face. But when you see the guy face to face, it's just like, this is your long lost brother. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, and I got that sense of community, obviously, at other conferences I've been to where these people say how they just work remotely in different countries and how much more productive you can be when you're in the same room as someone as well.
There's one thing I just forgot to tell you. When we arrived in DC, the EOSphere Dev, which is the project management, consulting, and application development side of our business, we launched our first sort of enterprise app, which is called Token Yield. And that is an app that helps you track dividends from the coins that you stake or the tokens that you stake on the EOSi network. So at the moment, it's just an MVP, but definitely worth having a look if you are staking with all the different applications out there.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, EOSphere is Australia's leading block producer candidate, but you guys aren't in the top 21. So how are you traveling in those rankings? And hopefully, as the wallets get easier to use, I'm hoping we can get all the Australians to vote for you guys.
Absolutely. The more voters, the better it is for us. I think that's what we really need is participation from the people that hold EOS tokens.
Yeah. How are you going in those rankings? How many has it got more competitive since we last spoke? Or are you still in the top 100? Or
it's different. It's definitely more competitive now.
Okay.
We're still in the top 100, and we're still getting paid at this point. But we could always do with more votes.
Yeah, and I honestly think that they do need to still iron out some of those bugs for account setup and new wallets for the beginner, because it is a lot to ask someone to do all that and then vote for someone.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And we're working on that, and perhaps voice is going to be that.
Yeah.
Because you should be able to use that identity to vote with as well, right? So.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Ross, I'll let you go. It's very early here. I'm not sure how late it is there. It looks like mid-afternoon maybe, but I'm glad.
I don't even know what time it is, man. I'm like minus 15 hours in my head. It's the wrong day. It's the wrong time of day. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Well, mate, it's been great to talk to you, and I look forward to chatting again in future.
Thanks for having me on.
See you guys.
Cheers.